Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Greg. This is my skooma addicted co-host Atlas. Today we're talking about a review of The Last of Us on HBO, and it is fantastic. Obviously, you got spoilers for the show and the video game. I know everything that's going to happen. I don't know how to talk about it without saying what's going to happen, so there you go. Let's just jump into the verdict, and then later on I'll tell you about some concerns that I had and how the show overcomes those. But right out of the jump, should you watch this show? Yes, you absolutely should. Is it a faithful adaptation of the video game? 100% it is. Would you like this show if you had never played this game? Yes, you absolutely would. I just got done watching it with my wife, who's never played the games and has only seen me play them in passing from years ago. She was riveted. She loved every second of it. She said, are there more episodes? Can we keep going? It delivers on every single front. It captures the feel of the video games. It captures the feel of the post-apocalyptic scenario that it's going for. One of the things that I really appreciate about it, right on the heels of the Velma show that we just talked about, was the storytelling was so subtle, and they got things across without just slapping you in the face. The first half of this episode is pre-apocalypse, kind of setting things up. We have main character Joel, played by Pedro Pascal, doing a phenomenal job. He's a single dad. He's got his teenage daughter and his brother Tommy. They're both construction workers. They're just trying to scrape by. What's impressive is that so much about these characters is just shown to you and not told to you. I'm a single father. That's really hard. Where are you going? If you're gonna leave, I gotta get. This is ridiculous. It's either cat or cup.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
So we don't have Joel sitting at a table telling his daughter, "Oh, I'm so sorry I can't buy you that thing because I'm just a little short on funds right now. Me and your uncle, the construction business that we work at is not doing so well, and I'm a single father, you know." And like, none of that is happening, right? It's natural conversations, but you're still getting every single thing you need to know about these characters. It is such good storytelling. It's so impressive. So we have set up for the first half of the episode. I personally felt like that went on a little longer than maybe it needed to, but I think the episode ended in a really good spot. If we had shortened that beginning section, we would have had to pad the later part of the episode, or we would have had to end at a different place. I don't think it would have been really good. I think sometimes the episodic nature of TV really kind of hampers the writing because they have to think about leaving it at a convenient spot for every episode. Every episode has to be self-contained, but still part of the overall thing. And I think that really hurts writing. So we see Joel and his daughter, they're living their daily lives. Obviously, this fungus virus thing breaks out. You have infected everywhere. It drives people to be mindless, flesh-eating zombie creatures. The tension is built perfectly, like you know something bad's gonna happen, but I think maybe the dragging it out for a half an hour really does work in its favor. We have a very faithful adaptation of what goes on in the video games, even the camera angle being in the back of the truck as they drive through the city and there are zombies everywhere and they're panicking. I mean, it recreates the mood from that opening scene of the game so very well. And the gut punch of Joel's daughter dying and really setting him up for the character that he's going to be. I mean, it is all played out expertly. Then we're fast forward to the future, 20 years in the future. We're in Boston. It's a quarantine zone. Everybody's under military rule. It's very harsh. Everybody's living in squalor. It's portrayed as a really awful place to be. You have a kid walking in from the wilderness. Nobody knows where they came from. They're shown to test negative, and then the next scene, they're burning bodies, and this kid's body is one of the ones they're just casually dumping into a fire. Again, without just putting up a neon sign, they're showing you what this world is like. Humanity has just been stripped away. Everybody is just heartless and just going through the motions. We then get introduced to Tess, who is Joel's literal partner in crime. They don't actually have a real relationship, we're gonna find out, but they kind of both understand that there would be one if they weren't living in a apocalyptic hellscape. One thing that I think is very important to point out is that Tess is age appropriate for Joel. And this is a big deal in Hollywood. They love to cast these older guys. Joel is supposed to be 55 years old in this show, and she looks to be about the same age. This isn't Red, where Bruce Willis and Anna Kendrick have like a weird romance thing, but he could easily be her grandfather. We get introduced to main character Ellie. She's being held hostage by this terrorist organization or freedom fighters called the Fireflies, who are fighting back against the military occupation. The Fireflies are going to be using her to try to create a cure for humanity. Great, faithful adaptation of the video game, while also just being a good show that stands on its own. I'm very excited for episode 2 and the rest of the season. Going into this, I had some concerns, and I also have some things the rest of the season that I'm very excited to see. I have a special guest here to talk about those things, someone who has not seen this episode yet. My guest today is me, from about 12 hours ago. Hey, Greg. Greg, do I have you there? I don't know. He thinks it's going to make like a more interesting video or something. Greg, can you hear me? Yes. Hi. Yeah. No, I'm here with you. Hey. Hey, how's it going? I'm glad to have you on the show. Thanks for having me on. It's good to be here. Past Greg, I understand you're having a really great weekend right now. Fresh off a really hit Velma review, took off, got over 1,000 subscribers. Big thanks to everybody. So it's been a really great weekend so far. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Congratulations, man. Are you looking forward to the show tonight? Looking forward to the show tonight. Cautiously optimistic. There are a few things that I'm concerned about, a few things I'm looking forward to. I'm really just excited to jump into it. Yeah, I have a few concerns as well. Why don't you tell us about those? Definitely the number one thing that's got me concerned is that they're not putting the story first. I mean, this game is beloved by a lot of people for very good reason, told an extremely emotional story. And so far, I've heard a lot about the diversity of the cast. They're touting that Pedro Pascal is a Chilean actor, which I think is hilarious because he looks whiter than I do, and I'm French-Polish. Yes, I have seen you dance. You're white as hell. I know they made Joel's daughter black, which won't affect the story in any kind of way, but that tells me a lot about the mindset of the people that are making this show, and it worries me that they're putting identity politics above telling the original story. So I'm a little concerned about that. I've got good news for you on that front. Joel's daughter was outstanding. Excellent actress. She sold the tension. She sold all the emotion. It was really phenomenal. Okay, that's good. I was worried about that. That's good. Yeah. I'm also a little concerned about Druckmann himself. This one's a little bit back and forth because I'm really glad that Druckmann is so heavily involved because he directed the first game. So if anybody's going to keep it from being screwed up, it's going to be him. But at the same time, he wasn't as famous and he wasn't as much of a name in the game industry. Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm a little concerned that he's going to pull a J.K. Rowling and say, well, I wanted to do all of these politically correct things in the game, but I just wasn't able. And then he's going to use this show as an excuse to shoehorn that stuff in the same way Rowling tried to pretend that Dumbledore was going to be gay the whole time. She just forgot to leave any trace of that in the books whatsoever. More good news on that front. Very faithful retelling of what was in the game. No goofy political messages. We didn't have any Me Too or weird BLM statements to break the immersion. Okay, that's really good to hear. Honestly, the only single thing that I can even think of was one line in the very intro of the show, something about global warming. It was there, it was gone. Really, really faithful adaptation. Oh, that's good. We're 2 for 2, knocking out your worries. What else you got? Something else that's got me nervous is Bella Ramsey. She's very young, and child acting can go a lot of different ways, you know. I honestly think that Joel is going to do great, but I would say that the role of Ellie is more difficult to pull off because it's kind of a dichotomous character. Mm-hmm. Like, on the one hand, she is very mature for her age. She's grown up in this post-apocalyptic world. She's very snarky. She knows how to handle herself. Like, she's extremely mature and kind of world weary and a little hardened and jaded in that way. Mm-hmm. But then at the exact same time, we see still this innocent girl. You know, we have the scene where she doesn't know what coffee is. Joel teaches her how to whistle. She doesn't know how to whistle. She finds the book full of dad jokes and thinks they're all hilarious. So we see a lot of this still childhood innocence inside of this hardened character, and I think it's going to be difficult for Bella Ramsey to pull both of those things off. She's 19, and a lot of 19-year-olds don't have the life experience to pull off really deep characters like that. So thus far, what's up? Thus far, we've only seen one part of the character from her. Well, we're still very early on. You know, right now she's still a rebellious teenager, so we haven't seen any of that vulnerability yet. So I really can't say whether she's pulling it off or not. Another thing that's got me a little concerned is the pacing of the show. Now we start where Joel doesn't even know Ellie, and originally, you know, she is just a package to be delivered. And then we see an emotional journey that goes all the way to him saying, fuck the cure for humanity if it means keeping you alive. And that's a really big bridge to cross. And they've only got 9 hours to do that. And they have to fill the rest of the world out. They have to talk all the other characters they have to have. So I'm a little nervous about the pacing. Yeah, I feel you on that. Again, we just left the city, so we haven't had a time for any of those little moments that they share in the game. What we are seeing is really good, subtle storytelling, really good environmental storytelling. What else? Is there anything else concerning you? Because I mean, thus far, it's going really, really well. Yeah, the only other thing that's got me concerned is that the director doesn't seem to respect video games very much, and that bothers me because you're talking about a show that's based on a video game. So I feel like you should really respect the source material. Yeah, I can see why you'd be concerned about that. But again, I mean, this episode is basically shot for shot remake of the first hour of the game. It's outstanding. It captures the tone. So I'm optimistic. What's got you optimistic? What are you excited about here? I'm excited for them to expand on some of the other characters. I saw in the IGN review that part of or all of one of the episodes is going to focus more on Bill and Frank, and Nick Offerman is going to be playing Bill. I think Offerman is a great choice for Bill because it's gay Ron Swanson, and I think some people are going to see this stuff and they're like, oh my god, it's more woke garbage, but this is how the game was, and I think that The Last of Us did diversity so very well, and they kept the perspective of the apocalypse in mind, so your immersion is never really broken by goofy political statements or any of this stuff that doesn't fit in this post-apocalyptic dystopia. Yeah, I mean, obviously, when the game, we only played as Joel, so we only got to see other characters through his eyes. So I think you're right. I'm really excited to see those characters through their own eyes and get their story fleshed out a little bit more. Yeah, so I know it's going to be a little tight. Like I said, it's only 9 episodes, so I'm a little concerned. But one thing I am hoping, I want to see Ish. That was one of my favorite. I love that storytelling mechanic. I thought they did an excellent job. Like, you got a fully fleshed out story and character from scraps of paper that you found. That is really good storytelling. I agree with you that I think time might be a little bit too tight to see him. But, hopefully we'll see what we get. Yeah, so again, I'm pulling a lot of this, IGN saw the whole season and we're only going to get one episode at a time, but it really feels, and I'm very excited about this, it feels like they really understand how to bring the gameplay story to the show without having the gameplay to rely upon. One thing that's got me excited, the IGN review said that they felt there wasn't enough infected on screen, but I think that was actually a really smart idea on the part of the showrunners, because you don't want to just have The Walking Dead 2.0. Yeah, we see a couple of infected, but yeah, they are on kind of in the shadows. Having them be this off-screen, like ever-present but never-seen threat, I think that is a good way to build tension. Yeah, they did a very good job building tension by not zooming in too close to the infected. Something else I saw that I think is great, they're moving away from like the gameplayness of it, is that Joel's injuries are going to like persist from episode to episode. They said his knees are bad, he groans when he stands up, he's going to have the same injuries all throughout the season. I think that's a really smart way to go about it. Yeah, again, Pascal, I mean, he's excellent, and he and Tess are doing a great job of looking old, looking tired. They're not rock stars. They're not superheroes. It is very grounded. It's very, very good. All right, man. Well, thanks for sharing your thoughts with us. Congratulations on the subscribers. I'll see you later, all right? Yep, thanks for having me on. I'll be you soon. My expectations are beyond exceeded for this episode. Every concern that I had has been surmounted. It was just excellent. What more can I say? We'll come back in a few weeks, do like kind of a mid-season status check, and then maybe an end-of-season wrap-up. I don't think I want to do this every single week. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time.